Well, I should fall back on the top.
Yes.
I mean, but I can't get bleach twice.
Maybe, but
Yeah, that's.
the hospital or the one who I had. And then we are visit part of the CAT scan. And then the ultrasound, blood work. Surgery. And almost as much as.
Yeah, she's on the beach, so that. They had to stop and she thinks I'm right. You're my.
29 miles.
Like, oh my.
And 10 people
Right, so not necessarily. They talked about her. But they're right now.
I was so mad, especially when I was like 7 years later. She's gonna call me back and said, I'm taking care of. And then she's like, I'm really sorry.
We'll call the February 26th meeting of Lock City Council. Order, please rise from the final line, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which
and
is
one nation under God,
indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Alexander. Here. Councilmember Brandon. Councilmember Brinker.
Here.
Councilmember Conklin. Councilmember Missouri.
Here,
Councilmember Stevenson.
Here.
Mayor Long.
Here. Approval of minutes from February 5th.
I'll approve the minute.
Thank you. I have a motion. In a second, any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yep. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
yes,
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Public comments requests. Do you have anything, Greg?
I have no items other than what appears on the agenda.
Anyone here other than what's on the agenda? All right, we'll move forward. 4B, 2024 fly-in requests.
The Sentimental Journey is requesting to hold their annual fly-in on June 18th through June 23rd at the airport. And their events are listed in their letter there.
What's the wish, council?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any questions or comments?
Also includes their pancake breakfast 2 times. So it's not just.
On May 5th and September 22nd.
Thank you for clarification.
And they have good pancake breakfast, so.
Yes, they do. So you're including that in your motion, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
yes,
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4C, request for Easter installation in Triangle Park.
Do you guys want to speak or do you want me to present?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Bill Stankiewicz is here and the Swissdale United Methodist Church and Richard Wallace are requesting to display 3 crosses in Triangle Park for Easter from March 23rd through April 20th, 2024. They have agreed to work with Downtown Lockhaven Inc. And I've talked with Holly about this to coordinate Easter decorations in the park. So there'll also be secular decorations. And they're also requesting to have the Christian flag flown for the month of April in Triangle Park in memory or in coordination with Faith Month, which was provided to you guys as well.
So wish, council.
Approve the request.
I second it.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any questions, comments?
Hi, Bree Reynolds, South Fairview Street. So I'm not sure if everybody on council knows, but the origins of April being Faith Month came from a Concerned Women for America group which has been classified as an LGBT hate group by the ACLU. As per their website, I'm going to quote, "The LGBTQ community took June as Pride Month. Each June, we just have to put up with it. But instead of being grouchy Christians and complaining, let's do something about it. Join Concerned Women for America as we make April Faith Month and raise your Christian flag in honor of faith and freedom. How does it make you feel when the gay pride flag waves over your community's city hall, at our nation's State Department, local police headquarters, and your children's school?" So Faith Month was not created to celebrate as much as it was to combat marginalized groups seeking inclusion. So the equivalent would be asking someone coming to council and asking to fly a white power flag because they disagreed with the flag that's up there now, which is Black History Month. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
Well, if I may, I submitted to, city council, federal regulations that were passed into effect, 2023 regarding the, establishment of Faith Month. And that flag would represent, our Christian part of our community. You know, so it is a federal regulated and federal standard, that the government has approved.
It's not a federally recognized month. The Faith Month proclamation, I think that's one that he may be discussing. That's not adopted by the federal government, by the judicial system, courts, or the US military.
Any other comments?
I just have a question. Are they asking for their flag are they asking to display their flag along with their crosses, or are they asking us to display their flag? What is the ask here?
The ask is for it to be flown under the American flag on the flagpole in Triangle Park for that duration of Faith Month. That's it.
Hold on just a second.
But
Hey, Mr. Conklin is here, so that we
Yeah.
need to vote. And Rick, for your benefit, we are discussing the request on the agenda for the Easter installation in Triangle Park and the request for the Christian flag to be flown at Triangle Park. So you're on.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, Barb. Go ahead. You have the floor.
I'm not opposed to the crosses, but the Faith Month, it's Christianity Month, not celebrating faith of all faiths. It's Christianity, and I think that needs to be made clear. It's a Christian flag, not an all faiths recognition flag. Are they willing to separate these two things?
Who made the motion? You made the motion, so you have the choice. Would you like to split this into two separate motions?
I don't see it failing, or one part of it failing. I think it should be good all or nothing.
You want it to be all, okay, the motion's been made as one motion.
Okay,
And he's keeping it that way.
okay.
Any other input? Yes, ma'am.
May I make a comment?
You may.
Without being on the agenda? Concerned Women for America, we love people. We have not segregated against, any particular group of people. We are Christian women. And as far as the Christian flag is flown, that's not a Concerned Women for America thing. Joe Ham from Lycoming County is presenting that along with Chris Dush, to be, seen across the board, for our localities, in order for that flag to be even at the Capitol. Okay, so, I mean, and it's not just those two gentlemen, there's other people from different states that are part of this. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. In order for our, well, first of all, our country was founded on biblical principles, okay? And as far as faith month goes, we all have different faiths. Okay, and I personally don't see I don't understand, I guess, why this isn't being heard clearly. But as far as Concerned Women for America, we love people. We have nothing against any group. I don't think that you would even find that if you searched us on the internet.
I literally read from your website.
Women from America on their website can be quoted saying a great disappointment on the day after same-sex marriage on July 2nd in 2015. A great disappointment. But you are promoting that you don't hate particular groups, but that's literally on the site that you belong with.
Well, we love what God loves. What else to say? I don't. I wasn't even gonna say anything.
Well, we have a motion on the floor. Any other input?
Mr. Mayor, Joel?
Yes, sir.
Hi, sorry, and I apologize for being late.
No problem.
If this motion includes the flag and the proclamation, I cannot support it. There are statements in the proclamation that are presumptuous. With the whereas, number 6 says America's Judeo-Christian founding promotes religious diversity. Well, I think there would be a debate whether Judeo Christian founding supports the Muslim faith, and therefore the word diversity does not fit in that statement. Number 9 says, whereas attacks on religious liberty and people of faith continue to plague our nation. I want to see statistical information that supports that, or I would strike that. And number 10 says, whereas many seek to criminalize religious beliefs, again, I would like to see the documentation included, or I will not support the proclamation.
Actually, I don't think the proclamation was included in that motion. What was on the agenda is what was put in the motion. That was the request, the Easter installation at Triangle Park, and the request for the Christian flag to be flown. There's nothing in that motion that said about the faith month.
Then I should have asked that question first, and I apologize. However, I would suggest even that flying the Christian flag would be offensive to Jews, as well as the three crosses would be offensive to Jews and Muslims alike.
Well, I guess then I would ask the question, do you find the Christmas decorations to be offensive?
Yes.
I don't find the decorations themselves to be offensive, and I'm only saying that we should understand that this is not an inclusive promotion. This is a very specific promotion, and that's how it should be presented.
Any other input?
I see it as a local church with a congregation and a group of people who want to display something at Triangle Park. And we pretty much say yes to everybody. We don't discriminate ourselves. We support anybody that sort of wants to do something and be proactive with things. And that's why I made the motion, because I only saw the decorations working with downtown and the flag. And I can live with the flag going by there. We fly other flags. So that's why I made the motion to support it. because it was a local group. Not the proclamation, if that's, I don't even know why
And
that's.
that's, at this point, that's separate, it's not, it wasn't part of your motion, and then didn't see anything on the agenda to address that. So. Anything else? All right, we have a motion on the floor. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
So we can't separate it. We can't separate
It's-
those.
The motion is on the floor as it is, and it's both the Easter decorations and the flag does not have the proclamation.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
No,
Councilmember Missouri.
No,
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Four D, request for pinwheels in the park, April 2024.
Brandy Bodel is requesting the use of Triangle Park for Child Abuse Awareness Month in the month of April. They are requesting to hang a banner for the duration of the month and use the park on Saturday, April 13th for pinwheels in the park. Pinwheels will be placed in the park from the 13th through the 20th to bring awareness to child abuse in Clinton County. And I can work with the organizers, if you approve this, to make sure all of the installations are working together.
What's the wish of council?
Second.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
yes,
Councilmember Missouri.
yes,
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Four E, request to paint flags on the Grove and Vesper Streets for June, the pride flags.
Clinton County LGBT organization would like to request the painting of the pride flags on city-owned streets downtown for the month of June, and this is the same as the previous year. So it's not the crosswalk, it's before the stop bar, like at the stop bar.
Right. Do I have a motion?
I'll move the request.
I second
Motion floor and second. Any further discussion?
Question.
Yes.
Last September, I brought up that the flags were still on the road at that time, and they were still up in June or in December. So are we doing a Pride month or a Pride half year? That's the question. So if we're going to have it for a month, it should be done at the end of June, just like the decorations at Triangle Park for the pinwheels or any other thing. It should be done at the end of the month, not whenever the salt takes them off or the weather takes them off. That's my point of position with that.
You're advocating that
It's
be
June.
removed or painted over
Remove,
black or
remove July 1st. Power washed off, remove July 1st, not in December when I'm driving down, stopping at a red light and I see a pride flag still on the paint. I mean, if we're gonna do June, we're doing June, not September, half a year. Not whenever the weather just takes it away. Or we might as well just paint them on there all year round and just keep going. Cause that's technically what we're doing 6 months.
You made the motion.
But the motion stands. I think we should just ask our manager to direct whoever's in
Yeah.
charge of public works to exercise like the pinwheels are up the second whole week. They should be taken down, same as with the Easter thing. And they have guidelines and they want June, let's give them June and be done with it. Then we'll just ask you to have DEP or road crew guys take care of it after June. I don't know how 4th of July falls, so it might be
Correct.
the day after.
But yeah,
Within a very reasonable period of time. I can support that.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
yes.
Councilmember Brinker. Councilmember Conklin.
yes,
Councilmember Missouri.
yes,
Councilmember Stevenson,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4F, request for the use of Memorial Park for Yoga Monthly.
Luna and Hawa Wellness Studio is requesting the use of Memorial Park on June 9th, July 14th, August 11th, September 8th, and October 6th for a community yoga class. These will all be taking place mostly at 6:30, but I believe the October 6th one, they did request that if this, it'll depend on this, like when the sun goes down. So I did put the times on there, but I'll work closely with the organizers to make sure it's before sundown.
What's the wish of council?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember, Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4G, use of Zendel Park for Beerly Wedding.
Lindsay Beerly is requesting the use of Zindel Park on September 28th, 2024 for a small wedding ceremony. And I will work with Lindsay to make sure the rules and regulations are followed and all her paperwork is turned in.
What's the wish of council?
I'll move the request. It's a nice place to have a wedding.
Second, I have a motion on the floor, second, yes, had the pleasure of officiating a couple there. Any further questions, comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Okay. So since I asked Greg before whether he had anything, he didn't, we'll move on. Unfinished business. 5A, consideration of resolution number 2024-05.
The county has completed its 2023 hazard mitigation plan, which was distributed to members of council, and a hard copy is in front of Councilmember Stevenson, who's the emergency management coordinator for the municipality. He participated heavily in the process, as did some other municipalities and many individuals from the city, to come forward with the final product that was provided to you. As part of that process, the municipality is requested to adopt a resolution in order to adopt the Clinton County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move it if it's not a conflict. I don't think it's a conflict
No,
of
it's not.
interest. So I'll move the hazard mitigation plan. It's good for the whole county and it's good for the city, and it's not perfect, but it's pretty well written. And I know if anybody wants to sit down and read the 300 and some pages, they're welcome to do it.
344.
344.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. You're a little quick, not quick enough there, Rick.
You can't hear, I guess.
Just enough of a delay to get
The
somebody here.
delay is, yeah, the delay is a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any questions or comments? Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. I want to thank Vice President Stevenson for his hard work on that. That is a very long document. I've been through it before when I served as county commissioner, and it is important. Thank you for the work. 5B, drought warning update. Not out of the drought yet.
No. So the water system is still classified in drought warning by DEP, and customers are still being asked to reduce their individual water use by 10 to 15%, which would be between 6 and 9 gallons per day. A very easy way to do that is to capture the water that you wait in your kitchen sink while you're waiting for it to get hot. If you capture that in a pitcher, that will likely fill your coffee maker twice. So doing that a couple times a day would create a 10 to 15% reduction. While it has been widely reported that the wet reservoirs are full, it is easy to assume that the water emergency has ended. However, in order to complete the construction at Ole as part of the EPA required upgrade, Ole's reservoir must be lowered by 3 feet. Permission to lower Ole was provided by DEP today, and that process started today. That still puts the water system in a vulnerable state. Until the construction is completed at Ole and the reservoir refilled, the system remains at the mercy of future precipitation, which of course is unknown. So, cool your jets. But yeah, we are not out of danger until Ole is completed at this point.
And where are we on the hook? I mean, we stopped the process of the emergency hookup to the wells, but when do we see the permanent connection happen?
The permanent connection is already engineered and has been. We asked Win Dobson and Foreman to do a cost analysis to see how over the long term would cost less to pipe directly to the filtration plant or to treat it and put it directly into the water system. They finished that analysis 2 weeks ago, and we met last Tuesday to go over those results. And the savings is only about $7,000 difference. So the plan originally in place was to take it to the filtration plant, which is still the plan that has been engineered. And so that'll be the plan going forward. For temporary easements for the emergency water supply, we have one outstanding. For the wells, we have one sales agreement and the other one is in negotiations. However, that property owner is in Florida this week. And so when the owner returns next week, then we'll commence with negotiations again. The last in-person meeting with representatives of that property owner was December 27th. And since then, we have had correspondence. The rest of the easements for the permanent line solution need to be obtained. A lot of it will be in the public right-of-way on municipal streets, but some of it will not, and it will cross, for example, the railroad tracks. So we need permanent approval from Norfolk Southern, which is something that Win Dobson and Foreman is already working on. So that's all in progress. And the city is able to apply to Penvest this fall for permanent financing for the wells because we have temporary financing in place now. The city will not receive approval or a closing date for that loan until the PUC rate increase is approved. So there will be no closing on that until 2025, but we can begin the process this fall for the permanency.
I know I signed one of the easements last week. That's there's one left then. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Just curious, Greg, back when everything began, you had a certain percentage that first quality was being certain percentage centers, and it was more on the city, showing that, where are we like for that reduction? Are we closer to the number now today than we were before?
The best we got to was 8%. I know, and that's when we were requesting voluntary 20%. First Quality at that time reduced their water usage for several days to nothing. And it still did not make an impact because the typical customer for the city is a residential consumer who, that covers the city as well as Castanea and Wayne Townships. So those three municipalities, water customers combined make up the city's quote unquote customers.
I just wondered how we did as a city collectively, and it sounds
not well.
No.
We did not earn any rave reviews. And because of that, DEP, when you make a request for something like reduction of the stream flow that we put from the dams back into the streams was completely denied because residents had not made any reduction in water consumption.
Anything else? Okay. I see notice from DEP, current proposed rehabilitation.
1 year, 9 months, and I think 4 days after submitting for the preliminary design for review by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for the Keller Dam and Reservoir improvements. We did receive concurrence from DEP to permanently design what had been proposed along with some suggested improvements. Again, last week on Tuesday at the water meeting, we had discussion with Gwen Dobson and Foreman about this. And I think at a minimum, you're not looking at breaking ground on Keller for, a while. The wells have to be done and put in place. And there are several other steps before Keller. At issue, of course, is how much money the city has borrowed in the interest of these projects. And until, again, PUC rate is increased, you are disabled from any future borrowing from Penvest until that takes place. So what we are attempting to do with the PUC application is carve out a slice of the law that permits the tariff, which is what the rate is called, the tariff to include only current maintenance, operation, and debt service, and any future debt service from Penvest is put in as what's called a surcharge, so that we don't have to go back to PUC every time that we want to do a Penvest project. Instead, Penvest would approve that, and the PUC would enable you to then put onto the bill a separate line item for the debt service per customer that is owed for the Penvest debt service. Obviously, when you're looking at a city system that has $75 million worth of improvements, that's almost exclusively going to be Penvest because of the rate.
Yeah.
So that is a big benefit in making sure that projects can move forward without having to constantly go back to PUC. You only need to go back to PUC if maintenance and operation costs exceeded the amount that you bring in for those. But future debt service would just automatically be added as a line item. So this project would be subject to that. And so we do have to have a discussion with the city's financial advisors and legal team from Eckert Siemens about how all of this debt service plays out. Because interim financing is done against general obligation, which is the taxing power of the city. Because it's so short term, it's only about 3 years. So the city doesn't have capacity for any more interim financing because of that. Now, permanent financing is done at what's called self-liquidating, although technically all debt is self-liquidating, but that is against ratepayer guarantees compared to the taxing power. So definitely this enables us to start having those discussions. Gwen Dobson and Foreman has not been authorized to start the work because there is not money sitting in a bank account to pay them yet. But we're in the process of working all those issues through to come to the solution.
Thank you. Any questions? Any other unfinished business?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay, new business 6A, consideration of resolution number 2024-06.
Finally, I don't have to talk. No, you can hear from Abigail.
It's the resolution to apply for the Strategic Management Planning Program grant, which is a 50-50 matching grant through DCED. We'll be applying for the zoning and subdivision land development ordinance update. Sorry, 2 separate ordinances, zoning ordinance and subdivision land development ordinance. Doing them together though, they kind of work hand in hand, so we'll work out a little better, be a little functional beside each other. We're requesting $65,000 which we have matching funds from CDBG and city budget. And with council's approval, I'll submit that application shortly, and then upon award, we'll go out for, request for proposals to get a consultant and really nail down the price. Right now, I'm looking at an estimate between 100,000 120. So it could come in for a wide range of things, but we're looking at 120 being the top end.
Do I have a motion?
Question.
Go ahead.
The math on the matching funds only comes to 60 on the paper. So which one's 5,000 more?
We'll request 60,000. We could request 65 and I can help the CDBG. I just noticed that as well.
Okay, well, that was one of the questions I had. Of course, less local funds, I like better.
Yeah, I just don't want to be caught with not having enough to cover the consultancies. But yeah, I agree, the less local funds.
As a side note, the city's local match of 35,000 is in the adopted 2024 budget.
Anything else, Steve? No. Do I have a motion?
You do.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Thank you. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 6B, authorization to solicit bids for Zindel Park bridge replacements.
Anyone who goes to Zindel Park is aware there are two bridges there. One is actually made of stone and, generally speaking, people find them aesthetically pleasing. Both of those bridges, in order to enable construction at Keller Dam, need to be replaced so that construction equipment will be able to navigate over them. So in 2020, preliminary work was done to obtain a price for the replacement of the bridges. At the meeting again that we had with the water last Tuesday, Wind Ops and Informant was informed that council would be addressing authorization to go for bid for the replacement of the two bridges with commercial timber bridges, which will suit the need for the project, but also leave behind a more aesthetically pleasing project than the originally proposed box culvert. And from the work done by Wind Ops and Informant, both would come in at the same price. So the timber bridge option was discussed with representatives from Central Region Trail Friends, who use the Zindel area probably more frequently than any other group, and seemed receptive to the timber alternative rather than, a Jersey barrier bridge in what is a very riparian aesthetic place.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there.
Was the box culvert comparable in price or more?
The same.
Same?
Yeah. That was estimated at 650,000 as well. This is from the 2023 borrowing that the city did, so the city already has the borrowed proceeds for this project.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, we'll have to be done.
Yeah.
He's on tape to like.
You can make the motion, you want the second? Steve, you want a second?
I don't think it doesn't matter.
All right,
Either
so
way.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion?
Joel,
Call for the vote.
Joel, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's
I
fine.
just wanted to make sure that this information has been shared with the city authority. This is all run by them and all of that has been taken care of.
When you approve this evening, all of this information will be forwarded to them. They have been part of the discussions on the need for the bridge replacement over the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Another question, the timber ones, although they're aesthetic, I'm sure the engineers guaranteed us they'll carry the weight.
Yes.
Because that's the reason we're replacing.
Correct.
Because of the weight
Exactly.
of the trucking. Okay.
Yeah, there is a company you can go to, they're from York, Pennsylvania, that does not only this kind of commercial grade timber bridge. They do smaller ones as well as covered bridges. When you go to natural areas and you have to walk on an elevated walkway, they design and engineer those as well. So it is like the bread and butter of their company.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
So we had a motion and a second, but we have not voted on this. So call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 6C, the city 2022 Federal Year Audit.
So the audit was provided to the city on Friday, February, I guess that was the 16th. And it is a pretty significant document, but it is available on the city website. The much more usable form of that document is what's provided to the Department of Community and Economic Development, which is called the CLGS 30. That's available for all municipalities from the DCED website, but the cities in particular is provided to you. And that shows for the different type of operations that the city does, from water, sewer, streets, stormwater, how much it spends on traffic signals. All of those different categories of expenditure are totaled together in this report, as well as the total revenue obtained from places like real estate taxes, fees that people pay for building permits. So it's a very user-friendly form of the audit, so you can see exactly what the city brought in and expended last year and from what sources.
So it is on the site now on our page
The city's website, it'll be on tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. 6D, cable TV franchise payment.
This is just so that the minutes will reflect that the franchise fee for the last quarter of last year, which was just recently paid, was for $24,050.06.
Any other new business?
I have none, Your Honor.
We have the FYI reports, we have timeout coming up on Thursday, the Wayne Township Land Tire Collection event.
Yep, variety of information and correspondence is provided to city council there, as well as the copies of the letters that go to the city authority every year as part of the agreement, which includes a copy of the city's audit as well as proof of insurance.
Every time they have that tire collection, I have a tire to give them. Just had one yesterday, so big figures. Jinxed me.
You missed it.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to bring before council this evening? Wait on council.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to